What is up, everyone? I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today we are not alone. We have the one and only Ash coming here, guys, to preach about Hydra clan boss with us. We're gonna do top 15 best damage dealers. What's up, Ash? How you doing, bro? Nice to have you on the channel.
Scratch. I'm glad to be here, bro. I'm glad to be here. I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, doing great, actually. I've been intending to do a video on the top 15 best damage dealers for quite a while now because there's so many new champions that, my god, they absolutely demolished the Hydra. We got some champion rebalance recently that brought in some champions that are like, wow, in the Hydra clan boss now. So definitely it's going to be a pretty interesting list. And by the way, guys, we actually reviewed every single mythical champion. We actually graded them on Ash's channel. So make sure you guys head over and check that video out.
There'll be some of those on this list, I'm sure.
Absolutely. There are quite a few. But you know what? Just because you are the guest, I'm gonna let you start with the list.
Thank you. And please let me know, like, as we go. I'm just curious. I'm sure your viewers are too. But let me know, like, who your main damage dealers that you lean on the heaviest.
Yeah.
As we get to those guys.
Raiders, this video is brought to you by Dragonair Silent God. So I just want to say a big thank you to them for sponsoring today's video. Season 4, The Snarls of Lava, is live in Dragonair Silent Gods, introducing tons of new awesome changes. We're going to have a new Otherworld exploration map, a new storyline, a new endgame boss, and honestly, this one probably is the best looking boss they've ever designed in this game. Of course, we will have tons of different changes as well. We will have a new Feymender boss, which actually looks pretty awesome too. We're going to have new artifacts, new gear sets. I'm actually doing a different video on my Dragonair channel today where we're going to test all of the new gear sets to see which one of them is better for damage dealers. We're going to have a new Temporal Vortex game mode. The boss is going on a rampage. We're basically going to be able to select our multipliers. It's going to introduce new rewards, new leaderboards, new rankings. You know the drill. Then we will have a new elemental affinity. This time around is taking us back to basics. We're going to have the same elemental affinity we had in Season 1. We have Ice and Necrosis, we have Lightning and Radiance, and we have Poison and Fire. So we're going to be able to do some crazy combinations this time around. Now, of course, every new season comes with a bunch of new amazing heroes. And this time around, we will have 25 new heroes, rares, epics, and legendaries. And they've done an amazing job with the rares and epics. They're actually really awesome champions. We will have a dedicated summon banner only for Season 4 heroes exclusive. So you're going to be able to put your hand on some of these badass looking characters. Like, look at them. They're doing such an amazing job with the design on their characters. They're absolutely killing it. So many awesome characters. If you guys like what you see on the screen and you want to get involved, you can click on the link in the description down below or in the pinned comment, or scan the QR code you see on the screen to download Dragonair Silent Gods. Like this, you're going to help and support me, help and support the channel. And I do have another channel where I'm covering Dragonair Silent Gods, daily guides, news, tips and tricks, everything that you need to know about the game. So if you are interested in the game, consider in subscribing.
I'm going to start with one of mine, I guess. High Elf. I know that enemy max HP isn't necessarily as good as it once was, but Wallmaster Aoran, to me, has not disappointed. This guy's a monster. I use him on kind of my medium difficulty team, right? Like the team in the middle. He's great. He has an AoE on his A1. So great on ally attack squads. He's great in, I build him for damage. I think there's no reason not to. But he also has the enemy max HP on the A2 ability and a block buffs as well. So he's bringing block buffs. He's bringing a decreased attack on the same ability, and he's bringing all of his own buffs on the A3 with the extra turns. So basically, every time it comes around to his spot in the rotation, you're guaranteed either a self buff with an extra turn or an AoE attack, or you're guaranteed an AoE attack. So I really like this dude, man. Like, a lot of damage. I'm sure a lot of players who went for him. Wasn't he a guaranteed or something like that?
No, unfortunately not. They were.
What was it?
They were
rumors
just
a 15x or something.
Yeah.
I got lucky and I got him, and he's a beast. Do you have him?
No, I don't, but I would love one.
Oh,
I would love one.
He's really
actually.
good.
Yeah, he's very solid. I love the idea of bringing block buffs and decreased attack and enemy max HP on the same skill. I think he's an amazing move from Plarium to kind of like try to introduce more amazing champions to the game that can basically tick multiple boxes, and he's one of those champions that really does
so well. He gets stronger throughout the battle too, man. Like on his no foe too great passive, increases his max HP at 20% for each Hydra head decapitated.
Yeah.
And it stacks up to 50K, you know? So like you really can jack up his survivability to where at the end of the battle, he's totally cool, you know? I really love him, man. He's a really, really good addition to the game, to your point.
100%. He's definitely very, very solid. I'm gonna go over to a different one. I'm gonna take the epic from you, bro. Just from the straight off, you know, like at the beginning of the video.
I like this snipe. I like it, and I know it's gonna be the same one I would call out too. I know it.
We have one epic champion, guys, that can do absolutely crazy damage in the Hydra clan boss. And some of you guys might disagree and will be like, Skratch, are you crazy? You're putting an epic over legendaries and mythicals in top 15 best Hydra damage dealers. Yes, I am. You can do crazy damage. I've seen teams doing 2.5 billion damage on Nightmare with Oboro. Now, you do need to have Mikage in the team. It's kind of like a package. But Oboro, guys, is all about the A1 and this becoming AoE. And giving her a 9-piece Slayer set is just taking her to the next level. That's basically the full package. If you can achieve these things for Oboro and you have a good team around her, you're going to get absolutely insane results. She's amazing. I'm not even talking about the rest of the kit, you know, where you're getting all of the buffs and stuff. They're nice, but you don't need them. The main thing that you need is the basic skill, and that's it, which is crazy, right?
Insane, and you're absolutely right. And I love the call out to the Mikage team because, man, just her continuously, because Mikage, she essentially has 2 ally attacks if Mikage is on the team, from the A3 and the A1 ability. If she's the only other Shadowkin on the team, she's just always going to go in with that AoE. It is, you know, it's really insane. It's insane. And to your point, I took so long to invest in Oboro, and shame on me because I always thought like, hey, she's cute damage for an epic. But no. It's like cute damage straight up, like compared to everybody else in the game. So I totally agree with the points that you made. Great inclusion on the list.
It's funny because on the very first week when they released Hydra, we all used to run Oboro because of the A1. It was that cheese team with Shamael. She was one of the best champion to use in the first week of Hydra. And even after all this time, she's still at the top of the food chain for all of the epics. You know, it's pretty crazy.
She is. I really enjoyed the damage on Whisper as an honorable mention too, as an epic. She can deal some really crazy damage, but Oboro to me takes the cake for sure for top epics.
100%, yeah.
All right, so I am up. I'm going to go with my favorite DPS for Nightmare.
Okay.
And it wasn't actually until a couple of the top players in my clan started using Turvold on their accounts that I was like, maybe I should dust off my Turvold, because you don't think for Hydra, at least for me, I didn't use him just because of the lack of AoE. You know, I'm like, you know, I really need the AoE for Hydra clan boss, you know, and that was obviously foolish thinking. Because of Hex, you still get the 10% damage share, which could be an insane amount of damage because this guy, I mean, we all know how hard Turvold hits, right? From old school Demon Lord clan boss, from the arena, but he's just built different in terms of his Juggernaut and his A1 as well. But I mean, the meta right now is a ton of debuffs on the Hydra heads, and a ton of buffs on our team, right? And his Juggernaut scales up to the point where my Turvold, granted, you know, I haven't fully awakened, so very lucky, but my Turvold is hitting for like 1.4 million per hit on a double hitter, plus Hex to get the extra damage on top of that. He is by far my best damage dealer for the highest difficulty of Hydra on my account, personally. Stack enough buffs, give him some good gear. I have him Merciless. He won't let you down. He won't let you down.
100%, man. Like, I know we were talking a bit about it before off camera. I managed to get a 6-star for him recently. I do have him at +4. Lucky enough.
Fellow Kraken, my friend. Yes.
Yeah, I know. But man, the damage he deals, I instantly threw him in Hydra, you know, because the thing is, guys, now you don't need AoE attacks anymore. You have hacks, right? And because you have a champion like Turvold that can deal millions per hit.
Yeah, you're getting a couple 100,000 more off the hex. Yeah.
So much better than an AoE. It's just so much better, you know, and my God, he's absolutely demolishing Hydra heads on Nightmare difficulty for me as well. He's just crazy good.
Try him out if anybody has him, because I feel like some players out there may have been like me, like reluctant just to use a single target, you know, or to like take the time to put them in their best gear or whatever. He'll be worth it. He'll be worth it for sure.
100%, man. He's just so freaking good. Now, because we were talking about Turvold single hit, I'm gonna go over to orcs, right? And I'm gonna take Valthe Destroyer. This is a champion that you can get from the Doom Tower. It will take you a while to get there, but trust me, he's the only Doom Tower champion in terms of legendaries that really has value in the end game, because you can solo the Scarab now with so many different champions that you don't really need
Euros.
Yeah, you don't really need
shots at Euros soul carriage.
Yeah. But Valthe Destroyer, man, he has a similar passive with Ninja. He's just gonna get attack, no crit damage, right? The A1, at least my Valthe Destroyer, he has a merciless set. He doesn't have insane stats. Pretty nasty though. He deals with the A1 approximately 1.5, even 2 million damage. And this is on Nightmare difficulty. The A2 on Decapitated Heads, again, is going to bring 1 plus to 2 million damage per hit on the head. The A3, 5 million damage or so.
Whoa.
Is just going
that was
going
to be my first question is, do you shut off the A3 or do you use it?
No, you use
it. Apparently you use it. I got you.
It's crazy damage.
I have him. I haven't tried it. I mean, I've seen him on videos and stuff.
New video for you, Ash.
Him.
New video for you.
Yeah. We'll give him a shot. I've always hated every Doom Tower champion. I'm like reluctantly in my head. I'm like, I guess.
He's just too good, man. He's just
That's
too
cool
good.
though. I guess I'll stay here in orcs for mine, man, and just go to the obvious Geral Blood Maul. She's insane. I mean, like if you're just lacking a provoker on your team, you can absolutely go in with the base form and use that provoke there. It is a 4-turn cooldown. Be kind of open with it if you want to kind of set the table there. But really, all the magic is on the damage off of her alternate form as it pertains to Hydra Clan Boss, right? She's dealing a ton of damage with Calamitous Maul. But there's nothing more satisfying in this game, if you're lucky enough to get your hands on her, than seeing her go in when not even on her turn with the A1, but somebody else's turn. She has a 25% chance of joining every attack. Her damage scales up based on HP lost, right? But seeing this Crimson Haze proc, right, the passive, and then go in with the Magma Slam and seeing how many repeats you can get with this AoE, hard-hitting AoE ability, it's nuts, and it adds up just over the course of these longer battles. The longer your team can last, the better that Geral gets, obviously. And it's just a boatload of damage. She's really one of my best damage dealers out there, and I'm sure anybody who's lucky enough to have her feels the same way.
Yeah, she's top 3 best damage dealers in the game, hands down. Like she can do astronomical damage in the Hydra Clan Boss, and any difficulty, doesn't matter what you're feeding her. She's just gonna demolish them.
She's gonna be great for you. Yep.
And because we were talking about mythicals, let me just go over to one of the newish mythicals.
Okay.
So Shiro. So
Shiro,
he is a very similar champion with her, right? Pretty much at the same level. They deal insane damage. Another top 3 best damage dealer right here for you guys. He is absolutely nuts with pretty much everything that he does in the kit. Now, if you have Leech, and he will bring his own Leech, that will basically empower him. If you're ever going to be fortunate enough to have 2 Toshiros, do not empower. Same with Geral. Do not empower them, because double Toshiro will get even crazier. He has attacks 4 times at random. It's not the best thing on his kit, right? Then he has an AoE attack, places defense down, places Leech, extra hit on enemies under 2 or more debuffs. He's bringing 2 debuffs, bang, the extra hit is there. Then you have the passive, which will fill the Termeter. Every time he hits a target under a Leech, inflicts 25% more damage to enemies under a Leech. On the second form, not only that he looks badass, right? But then he brings in a lot of damage with this as well. The A1 is AoE, has a chance to increase the duration of all debuffs by 1 turn. Attacks all enemies, heals all allies except this champion. Then again, the value of the heal increases for each Leech on the enemy. And then you have AoE attack, decrease speed, Leech, extra turn, and the passive again, bringing you also decreases the damage taken from enemies under Leech debuffs by 50%, but doubles the amount of healing this champion receives when attacking enemies under a Leech. So you want to kind of like move in between both of the forms to get the most out of him. But he is very, very solid, and I have a 6-star soul just waiting for him, you know. All I'm saying, Toshiro, knock at my door.
I also do not have him, but he looks really cool. We're talking about him a lot in the video that we did on my channel as well. But I have a question and a comment. Number one is on his alternate form on his eye cut or eye cut. Attacks all enemies. We have a 50% chance of increasing the duration of all enemy debuffs by 1 turn. I love the AoE debuff extension on the A1, you know? Like, that's really cool. Also, on the A2 on his base form, so I don't know if you know the answer to this, but each hit, it says 4 times at random. Each hit increases this champion's attack and HP by 5% while in their base form, stacks up to 100%. So my question is, I switch forms, but then I switch back. Do I still benefit, or does it reset on the switch?
That's actually a very good question, and I feel like
I gotta ask Saf.
no, I feel like I talked a bit too early, and maybe you don't want to change forms at all, and you just want to stick to this form. Because if
I don't know, but
if
like,
you're swapping forms, you're gonna lose it. So I feel
well,
like
it doesn't say that we'll reset or anything like that. You know?
but it's just knowing the way they're coding other champions and how they're doing all of their things. I think it's very likely that you're going to lose it probably. You know, I'm gonna have to ask somebody that's using him a lot. You know, I don't have him, unfortunately.
Yeah, same. Okay, I'm gonna go.
What's your next?
With kind of. It feels like an oldie but a goodie at this point. She's not even that old in the game.
Okay.
And I still have Acrisia as a top 15 on my list.
Okay.
I know we talked a little bit off air, and it sounds like she was kind of like flirting with the top 15 on yours, but I still can't get away from the enemy max HP on every ability. I mean, she's pretty easy to get the damage to build, and easy survivability with the damage mitigation on the passive as well. But really, it just comes down to the enemy max HP consistently on every ability, especially with the highlight of battlefield domination. You add it all together, it's just like it's going to be a guaranteed lot of damage at the end of the day.
100%. So my main thing with all of the enemy max HP, Grazur, Wallmaster, all of them, I feel like because of the big cap on the damage, 10%, the hard cap on the damage, I feel like all of the raw damage dealers are just stepping up more and more. You have 9-piece protection boosting the damage. Then you have the Great Hall, ignore defense, increase your attack, increase crit damage. All these are really, really overpowering, or rather said than overpowering the regular damage dealers, they're overshadowing the enemy max HP damage dealers because of the hard cap. So if you ask me, probably I would drop most of the enemy max HP out of the top 15 to bring in raw damage dealers. But the thing is, they are so good to use the enemy max HP. They make your life so much easier. And the main reason why I kind of like do want to keep them in the top 15, I know that not everybody out there is a madman willing to sacrifice 1 hour for every key to do a manual team on Hydra. And the enemy max HP, I know. And the enemy max HP is the best solution to get a good amount of damage while you don't have to manual it, you know?
Yeah, man. Well, I to your point, I still run. I'll manual my third key if I have to, like a Trunda manual.
The cheese one.
my first 2 early keys that I do, I run full auto, and I guess it would be Turvold, Geral, and Wallmaster. So 2 enemy max HPs in those 2 teams. Actually, Acrisia. So I have 4, basically 2 on each team. So I still run them, man. I still run them. So I got to include them on the list. But I digress. Who do you have next? Is it your turn or my turn? I forgot.
I think this was yours.
I went Acrisia.
So it's my turn. It's my choice. I'm gonna go. Okay. We are in close vicinity right here. I'm gonna go to the Shadowkin, and I'm gonna go straight to Harima. And yeah, baby, she has a very similar skill right here, the A2. That's very similar with Ninja's passive. I feel like we're always using that as reference, right? Because she's gaining the defense. Now I've seen teams with Harima on Nightmare dealing 600, 700 plus million damage only from Harima. Is a very good amount of damage. That's actually disgusting damage.
Yeah, like I'm wondering what the heck build they're using, because I can't get that damage out of my Harima. That's for damn sure, man.
It's very likely that is a merciless, a 6-piece merciless, because you are getting the decreased cooldown. You're getting a 35% ignore defense. Most probably is a Mikage in the team as well to push her a bit more. But that's not the only thing that she does. She has the provoke, man.
Yes.
And it's just so freaking reliable to have a champion that can provoke and deal damage, and it's not just reliable, it's just nuts to tick multiple boxes, and really it allows you to compress your team so much better and build like the next level sort of team when you have these sort of champions available, you know?
No, I totally hear you there, and it's definitely a good call out. I agree, and I said Turvold 5 turn or 5-piece merciless either. I meant 6-piece.
Yeah, I
Going
got you. I got
5
you.
makes no sense.
I
Yeah,
got you.
but
I
I hear
got you,
you.
bro.
I hear you.
But yeah,
All right,
Haruma, she's awesome. What's next
I
on your list?
I agree, man. I will go with. I'm just gonna be the obvious one. I hope she's still viable by the time this video goes live, bro.
Okay.
But Trunda, we'll go
Yeah.
Trunda, right? Someone had to say her.
Yeah.
Can't have a list without her. At least the time of this recording.
No, not at all.
It's uncertain exactly how badly nerfed she'll be with the changes to Hydra at the time of this. Or do you know? Because I
have
haven't
no
seen
idea.
it concrete. Okay.
It's a bit unclear what they said in that message because they're planning to change Hydra. So the problem is not Randa, the problem is Hydra. And the problem is the scoring. I've told them from the day one, the scoring is bad. Like it makes no sense for us to go and do big keys on Nightmare when Hard gives us so many points, right? So the scoring was always the issue. I'm glad that it took them a while to acknowledge it, but it's good that they did. I'm not sure what they can do to Trunda. Like the main thing that I can imagine is a cap. Is a cap on the damage, Same like enemy max HP. Maybe not as harsh because that would make her useless. But they need to find a boundary where champions can compete. And you don't have one dominating the entire universe like Thanos. And then you have the rest of the peasants just going all around for scraps, because that's what happens with all of the rest of the champions. I do think that having a legendary champion in the game that's strong is amazing, and we should definitely have strong champions that can compete. But being one legendary champion out damaging a team of 2-3 mythicals that are the top 3 damage dealers is just mind-blowing to me. And I don't even have those mythicals, guys. I'm not saying it because, oh my god, I have mythicals and I want to use them to out-damage the rest. It's not the case at all because I don't have those champions. But it's just kind of like a bit mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, I mean, we're here right now. At the time of this recording, we're here, and Trunda's a stud. From that conversation that we had with Plarium about, like, hey, like, how do you feel about Hydra Clash?
Yeah.
And they mentioned Trunda on this meeting that like the creators had with the developers, and I felt like they chose their words very, very carefully.
Yep.
And I felt like they said something to the effect of, we don't plan on nerfing Trunda, but we do plan on making some mechanical changes to Hydra that might impact a champion like Trunda. So like, it was, to me, it was like, okay, they're going to nerf Trunda somehow for Hydra because that's what it would do. If Cloak of Ages doesn't hit like Cloak of Ages does, it would, if Cloak of Ages hits like Forge Rhythm hits, she wouldn't be on this list. Maybe she would be, but it would, it probably not. And it's just like, that's what I fear is going to happen, but we'll see. We'll see. Either way, right now, she's number one, not even probably.
Yeah, I hope she can still do 4 or 5 billion damage on Nightmare. I hope that she's still going to be able to do that. I feel like it's fair, but right now, the record from a clanmate of mine is 1.1 trillion.
No big deal.
Like, it's just nuts,
Yeah. So I guess when you meet up, when your clan,
actually not trillion, my bad. It's 100+ billion. Sorry, what am I talking about?
Okay, I was like, what the frig, bro?
I know, like what the heck?
A lot has changed in the last week.
What are you talking about?
But what do you? I imagine when it comes down to Hydra Clash in your clan, like one of the top clans in the world, it just comes down to how many people can sit there painstakingly for hours and manual Trunda teams. Like, is it an obligation in your clan that everybody has to do it, or how does that work?
If we basically face an opponent that is gonna challenge us, we're gonna do it. At the moment, IPR is dominating the Hydra Clash, so when we face them, we know we have a second place shield. We don't have to worry about it. When we face, because we have 2 clans, right? When we face each other, we're actually the only time when we're fighting it out, basically, because we're not.
Oh, when you face each other.
Yeah, because we're kind of like pretty balanced in terms of how we place the people in the clans, so it is a lot of fun because the clans they're trying to kind of like compete with each other, like is a cool
rivalry
thing.
Yeah,
it's fun. Cool.
That's cool. Is it my turn? No, I went Trunda.
No, that Trunda was yours. So because we were talking about the damage dealers like this, I'm gonna go with Yannicka, free champion from the clan shop, guys.
Good,
I clicked on the wrong faction, going to the Sacred Order. No, she's not from there.
No big deal.
No big deal. But yeah, guys, so I do think Yannicka, she's amazing with weak spell teams. I feel like there's nothing wrong about this team. There's no reason for Plarium to modify anything whatsoever on this team, because while you are able to get 2 3 billion damage. If you're extremely lucky and you pay the RNG gods, you know, to be in your favor, you might squeeze a bit more. But this is not a team that will basically overshadow everything else in the game. And I feel like it's fair and balanced to have competition like this in the game and to be able to have as many different varieties of teams as possible. I think that that's extremely healthy for the game when people can be like, okay, I can build 10 top teams. I'm going to go with Yannicka because you know what? I believe in RNG and maybe I'm going to squeeze 500 million more from her. I think she's very, very good. And it's all about this A3 skill right here, you know. The rest of the skills are irrelevant, you know. This skill is what makes the magic. Removes the shield. She has a very hard cap on the damage, 337 million per hit. She cannot exceed that, okay? So basically that's kind of like where it plays. Now, we forgot one thing, Ash, talking about it, and that is a cheese with Ironclad and Aislinn the Stalwart, which I know...
Does it still work?
I think so. We're gonna give them.
I just assume they patch it by now, but apparently, if it maybe, yeah.
They do deserve a honorable mention for the moment. So Ironclad is a rare champion, right? There we go. Yes. Who thought that we're gonna have a rare champion on the top 15 list, right? But
there it is.
It's basically the surplus heal and the damage that he deals with the passive. Aislinn has an unlimited amount of heal, and again, you're just growing the shield. So Aislinn the Stalwart, guys, if you're not familiar, this is 100% gonna get patched. Don't jump to invest in them unless you have the resources to do it. But basically, heals all allies by the total value of all shields. What they forgot to do right here is to put a cap the same way they've done it for Amic Trunkheart. So they're gonna do that.
Grow the shield and grow the shield, and it all comes down to one hit.
Exactly, and this has no cap. This actually can just do like 1 plus billion per head. So it can deal a lot of damage. You know, it's definitely gonna get fixed. So this is not a team that I would kind of like consider to keep. It's just an honorable mention, you know.
Good honorable.
What do you have next?
Hey, while we're speaking Bannerlords, I got Taurus. I feel like you got to include Taurus the Fierce.
Oh, yes.
He's tanky, and he does a ton of damage. He's still one of the top damage dealers out there in Hydra, in Arena, anywhere. He still got it. Taurus and Marichka are still on top, and Hydra is no exception to that.
Yeah, 100%. Like, it's just this constant pressure, man. And how you mentioned before, we are in the era of buffs, right? The buffs era. So you're gonna have a team full of buffs. He's gonna hit 4, 5, 6 million per head when they're decapitated. Crushing Rand as a blessing on him. That's my only problem with him, having to swap blessings. I picked Polymorph, and I'm not doing it. You know, like I'll sacrifice some damage in the Hydra. I just don't want to pay 300 gems every week.
I know.
It's just too crazy, you know.
I hear you. It's only a problem if you're lucky enough, like you, to have 6-star.
Yeah, but I bought it from the shop from 1-star though.
Oh, nice, man.
It was a long grind.
That happened to me. Yeah. Well, but yeah, either way, he's a monster. To your point, kind of like Turvold, right? To stack up a ton of buffs and just let him go to town. It's a 4-turn cooldown, so maybe if you have a reset mechanic in the team, he does even better, right? To get more constant pressures.
Yeah, if you can put him on a merciless set, that's the way to go. Yeah,
for sure. All right, we're
getting thin on, we're getting thin on the list. So I'm gonna go for one that I recently tried and I was extremely impressed with the champion, and that is Holstring. So he got a buff recently, guys. In case if you're not familiar, man, he can bring in some damage. Again, same situation with Turvold. He's not gonna bring you AoE damage or anything like that. But this skill, he was hitting for like 3 million with the overthrow skill, triple hitter. And the A1 again was doing like 1.5 plus million. The A2, the A3, my bad, was doing 2 plus million if there were no weak hits. So he was bringing very good damage. I was super impressed. He was keeping very close to Valthe Destroyer, you know. And I definitely said he's a top 15 damage dealer. Now, there are a few other champions that are really good. And I need to make a benchmark and put every single one into a test. But that video is going to take me probably 1 week to do. I do want to do it, though, because I want to kind of like see the numbers, you know?
Same. Holstring has always been compelling to me. He was almost outside of clan boss, like old school Demon Lord clan boss. There was almost no way of using this guy against Hydra because it was random. It was attack random enemies on his A1. and random enemies on his A2, I want to say.
Yeah,
And then
if I'm
4
not
times that
mistaken.
random on his A3. It's like there was no control at all, you know?
Yeah.
But at least now his A3 is still 4 times that random. But at least on his A1 and his A2, you can actually decide who you want to hit. I love that he has the built-in perfect veil as well. A lot of hex synergy. So yeah, man, he's always intrigued me a lot. I like the smoke monster. Now he's the out of all the champions that you mentioned, Skratch, he's the first guy that I'm gonna go build now and see what he can do for me on my account.
100%. He's actually very solid, bro. You're not gonna regret it. And do that Valthe Destroyer as well.
We're down the home. I think this is my last guy.
Yeah,
on my
I think
list.
so. I think so.
And dude, I have this crazy feeling like I'm forgetting somebody, honestly, or like we're forgetting somebody. But I'm actually gonna give it to Rathalos Blademaster, right?
Oh, we have more than that. You're gonna have another one then.
Okay, all right, cool. I'll go over. I'll make sure. But Rathalos, man, he really surpassed my expectations, specifically in Hydra Clan Boss. You guys are all familiar. He's a free champion, right? But he brings his own increased crit damage, his own increased speed as well. He has the AoE, the strong, hard-hitting AoE on the A3, but then he has the second use of the skill in a round will attack all enemies with the ignore defense on the spirit step. So yeah, man, he's just got a lot of damage, and every 5th skill used by this champion does 200% more damage. It scales really nicely, and I have a lot of clanmates who actually get a ton of damage using Rathalos, like hundreds of millions. So yeah, I think he surprised me by making my list.
He's very, very strong, actually, and the main problem with him is that it's pretty hard to play him on Aoro. It is a champion that needs to be played on manual if you want to get astronomical numbers from him.
Sure.
That's the main issue with him, because you got a time when you're using that A2 on decapitated heads, and he can do like 4, 5, 6 million damage per hit on each head. It's crazy with the HP burn, you know. But the problem is you really need to time it, and it takes a lot of manual time. So I feel it if people are not massive fans. But because we are on the Bannerlords, the next one for me on the list is going to be Quintas. You get this champion from Live Arena, exactly.
Interesting. I did not expect you to have Quintas on the list.
I know, right? He's actually pretty underwhelming in Arena, but surprisingly, big shout out to Biohack here, because I know he's the one that used him a lot and kind of like bugged me Skratch. You're wrong. Quintas is actually good. But Quintas,
with a 4-turn AoE, that's it?
No, it's not even that, bro. It's all about the basic skill, man.
Okay.
The basic skill brings so much freaking damage, like millions per hit. Is crazy, you know. It's
really?
Actually
so on par performance is that's the magic?
Yep, that's the magic.
Okay.
Is the extra hit if the target has no buffs. If this attack is critical, repeats the attack once. You know, it's straightforward. Just basic skill.
Well, geez, maybe he'll take Holstring's spot because I thought he was like gonna stay in my vault forever, personally. So maybe
he's very solid. Like you see in
cool.
Hydra is a 4 as a on the ranking list, on the reviews, my bad. But he's actually very solid. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I didn't have another champion prepared, but I will give you one, man. I will give you one.
No, we don't have Grazur on the list. I thought that you had Grazur, or you talked about him already.
Oh, yeah, I kind of did. All right, well, I'm gonna give it a quick tie then, because I went off script, man.
Who?
I was gonna go Supreme Galek and Grazur. I feel like Grazur would be my pick. Another enemy max HP champion who has AoEs on every ability. Krisk also can deal a ton of damage too. A lot of versatility on how you build these champions as well. You can put them in a curse set, a provoke set, or you don't need a provoke set, but I want to give a shout to Supreme Galek, man.
Okay.
I don't think it's top 15, but I was kind of grasping at straws at the end there because I didn't think I had Grazur on my list. He's really solid, man. He's got the burn. As well as just a lot of damage that he brings to the table, and he surprised me as being like a really competent damage dealer on the squad as well. Although it's more of like an Artak type way, primarily around those burns versus the sheer raw damage.
I think he's nice. Like I used him for a long period of time after I summoned him, and I like the idea of bringing the block buffs, the HP burn, the decreased speed is very, very nice. The passive that he has with the fear, the true fear, the heal, the extra turn, the activation of burn, the increased attack. I think he's an awesome champion. Definitely deserves a solid mention. If anyone got fortunate enough to summon him, definitely use him, because he will bring you quite a bit of value. Like definitely, yeah.
What about Grazur and Krisk? Are you team Krisk or team Grazur?
I mean, Graza brings enemy max HP. Krisk only really deals a lot of damage if you have a curse set on him and he's soaking in damage from there. Other than that, Krisk doesn't really do much. I do think that Razelvark, for example, is a very solid one. Now, I do need to do a proper benchmark to test like probably 20 different champions to make a very accurate list, you know, all in the same team, the same gear, to see the numbers. Razelvark, Mashaled, they are champions that are definitely at the
in the conversation.
In the conversation, yeah. And I have a feeling that I might be missing somebody, but there are quite a few of them that are very, very solid. And how I mentioned, it's just all about the changes, man. The power creep, the Great Hall, all of these things coming to the game. You know, they really started to overshadow the enemy max HP champions. Yeah.
Yeah, and then all the supports that we didn't mention, you know, like the Ferals and the Grand Oaks and Estrid and stuff like these. Even Estrid can put out some sick damage too. You know, like it's I feel like the game has changed quite a bit, man. But yeah, that's my list for you, Skratch.
Same. This is the list, guys. Let us know in the comments down below if you agree, if you disagree. What do you think about enemy max HP and raw damage dealers? What do you prefer to run? Because I know how I mentioned.
Yeah, who do you guys run?
Not all of you guys run manual, not all of you guys run auto, and if you try to min-max your damage, probably you're gonna go with raw damage and stuff. But let us know in the comments down below. Ash,
Skratch, I'm interrupting your outro.
I
just gotta ask: is there any nuker that you use on your teams that you didn't include in the list?
No, I include them all.
Okay, I did as a final shout out. Yeah, Quintas, but I only use him with Venus, you know, because of the counterattack every move.
Good shout out. We forgot about him.
So a little shout out to Quintas out there. Sorry.
Yeah, he brings actually very good damage too. So he is in the conversation too, together with the rest. With Venus, actually very strong. I remember teams doing 1+ billion damage, and that was Quintas Taras with Venus. They were the main damage dealers.
Yeah, so, for sure. Sorry.
Very good call out there, because we completely forgot about Mr. Quintas, you know?
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
A pleasure as always, guys. And make sure you head over and check out Ash's channel as well. We have a different video there talking about the mythical champions. But as usual, appreciate every single one of you guys watching till the end. Much love, and we'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.